Good morning, everyone. My name is Archibald Gordon. I'm your moderator for this is edition 2 of the CMU Getting Ready Series. I'm Director of Marketing and Communications here at the Caribbean Maritime University. And today we're going to be hearing from two of my colleagues in a session that we say is short and sweet, meaning that the presentations are going to be short and sweet, but there's going to be lots of time and lots of an opportunity, rather, for you to get your questions and you can ask questions. We're going to be hearing first from the Dean of Discipline, rather, Mr. George Malcolm, and then we're going to be hearing from the Deputy Registrar, Ms. Keisha Walker. So we're going to have two short presentations. After those presentations, we'll open the floor for questions. How can you ask questions? You can type your question in the chat. We're going to be paying attention to the chat. There are members of the registered team who are going to be in the chat. They can answer your questions there. Questions which cannot be answered in the chat, we will direct them to either of the presenters so they can answer as they go along. And in addition, you can use the raise hand feature, which is at the bottom of your screen. Just raise your hand and we will call your name when you're ready. And when we are ready to ask questions, when we're ready to get questions rather, and then we will call out your name and you can open your microphone, turn on your camera if you want, and ask your question when you're ready. So this is edition 2 of the CMU Getting Ready series, and we are ready to begin. So I'm going to hand over to my colleague, Mr. George Malcolm, to kick us off with the opening presentation this morning. Mr. Malcolm?
Pleasant good morning, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Thank you, Archie, for that introduction. As Archibald mentioned just now, I am George Malcolm, the acting Dean of Discipline. Is everyone seeing my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So I'll be displaying my screen wider so you all will be able to see it. Perfect. So welcome everyone. Welcome to the Caribbean Maritime University. And we do appreciate you. We thank you for being here and we hope that you're all well. So as I dive into my presentation this morning, we'll be doing, a basic introduction to the discipline unit, an introduction to the student handbook, where I'll be speaking on the dress code and appearance and fit of the CMU uniform. Moving on, discipline unit, our functions entail, to ensure proper deportment of all students, to ensure student adherence to the University Code of Conduct, assist with the safety and security, among many other features. So just giving you a brief introduction to it. The team members, we have 4 members of the team. Ms. Danette Phillips, the director of the department, the Office of Student Affairs, myself, George Malcolm, who is the acting Dean of Discipline, Mr. Curtis Garrick, Assistant Dean of Discipline, and Ms. Stacy and Jack, who is a female proxy Dean of Discipline. All right. So as I made mention earlier, the student dress code will just be giving a quick run through of what the student dress code is. All right. So as we're seeing here, we have some pictures on the screen. These are prohibited. We oftentimes, have students who prefer their clothing, whether male or female, to be closely tight fitted. The CMU, that's prohibited. The CMU does not take kindly to closely tight fitted clothing, whether for females or males. And if we look on the other pictures that are coming up, you will see to your right, a male having a saggy pants or wearing his pants below his buttocks. That is unacceptable, males. And for females who like to wear short skirt, that is also unacceptable. The length of your skirt should be knee length, and we allow for it to be, ½ inch above or below the knee itself. So those are prohibited, and we ask students not to wear close-fitted clothing or too excessively tight-fitted clothing, saggy pants or short skirt. We ask that students read and get familiar with their rights and responsibility as students, and the dress code and the overall code of conduct that is provided by the university. To find these information, you can go to the student handbook that is readily available on the university website. And we urge and we implore all students just to get familiar with all the necessary information that we provide. And as I move on the picture you're seeing on your screen, this is an infographic that is giving a more detailed information, and it also have the uniform itself. So CMU has a dress code which students should always maintain unless otherwise authorized in writing from a university official. As for the ear, I'll go deeper with the standards of the ear. However, only natural colors of the ear are allowed. Headdress tam should only be worn if based on a religious reason or a medical reason, right? Earrings not permitted for males at all. Earrings are prohibited for males. And I repeat again, earrings with the wear of your uniform is prohibited for males. Your epaulets should always reflect the program in which you are studying, whether logistics, customs, and immigration, engineering. If you are, rooming with someone who is of a different program and for some reason you lost your epaulet and want to wear that person epaulet, it's a breach of the university rule, and we ask you kindly to just send us an email or reach out to us via some means. I'll provide my email address and my number at the end of the presentation. Reach out to us, make us aware of your situation so we can best assist you with you not breaching the university rules. As for your insignia, the term insignia is an accessory. It would appear or have the looks of a ship. It is normally placed centered 1 inch above the left the right breast pocket, but sorry about that, the left breast pocket, right? It is normally centered 1 inch above the left breast pocket of the uniform shirt. As for the name tag, that will be your first initial and your last name. These accessories should always be worn at all times. Your name tag should be directly above the left edge of the right breast pocket. As for your shirts, all females, both males and females, your shirt should always be tucked in your pants or skirt. And the belt, the accepted belt that we wear at the university for students is black nylon belt. You will get these accessories in your package when purchased, and we have a bookstore, a store here at the university that you can get these accessories. Your pants will be fitted and worn with the lower edge of the waistband at the top of the hip bone. This infographic and information will be sent to you when you receive your package, so you will have this information at hand to use at all times. And I'll move on to the female section. The female infographic is the same as the first one. However, as for the ear colors, again, it's all natural color of the ear. We don't accept neon colors, bright purple, orange, and colors of that nature. All natural color of the ear is accepted. Female ear should be moderate and well groomed just the same, and it should be conservative. As for earrings, females are only allowed 2 earrings in each earlobe, and these earrings should be sleeper or stud earrings. The big loops or oops are not accepted. So again, as for female, maximum 2 on each earlobe. And the same information for the insignia, the name tag, the shirts, and the belt, as well as the skirts. All right. And as we said before, we're making the presentation short and spicy because we'll be having a question and an answer session right after. And as we look at the pictures that is being displayed, whilst looking at the students, we can see that the students are not looking, totally different from each other. This is the uniformity process that the university requires, because we are wearing a uniform as a paramilitary university. We want for each student not to look totally different from each student. So your uniform should be properly equipped with the necessary accessories, name tag, insignia, epaulets. Your ID should be on display at all times. It is a requirement by the university, and we ask that students display their IDs and try not to breach the dress code of the university. As we can see in this picture, the female ear is, put in a bund, and it is conservative. It is in keeping with the university rules. And as we move on, as for the males who want to be a part of the university, or opting to be a part of the university, however their style might be a little bit different, and they have that particular swagger, whatever the case is, let me tell you this, males and as well as females, absolutely no sneakers are allowed. So if you believe that you want to get all dressed up, please don't do that while you're in the uniform and attending the university campus. Sneakers are unacceptable. The Air Force Ones, the Jordans, the all of the above, they are unacceptable. You can wear your Clarks if you want. You can wear a nice dress shoes. Those are what the university requires and accept. So we ask students kindly, and I will repeat this again, we ask students kindly not to wear sneakers. If you wear a sneakers and you are seen wearing a sneakers, the deans of discipline will address you, and we tend to oftentimes give something what we refer to, well, I refer to it as a gift. Some people call it a sanction, but I don't. I refer to it as a gift and as a caution to students. It is in a written format whereby a student is, breaching the university rule, and we give them that to put on their file. And so that will be placed on your file for your entire university life, and it can also affect you. So we are giving you enough information now in your email, this presentation. And if you have any questions whatsoever regarding anything that you are not clear on, we ask that each student reach out to the unit or the department in general, that student affairs or the dean of discipline, right? So we ask that you do that kindly. As for the male grooming ear standards, if we look on the picture to the left, we will notice that this is accepted by the university, as you can see the green tick, because this ear is properly groomed, it's together, and it's in keeping with the university rule. As for the two that are not accepted with the X, the red X, we do not accept carvings in the ear or pattern, whichever you call it. Some students tend to want to put part in their ear to just have a style feature. Some put it in the eyebrow. We ask kindly not to go about doing this. It is unacceptable by the university. For the matted ear, when you grow your hair a little bit and you use the sponge to sponge it and make it spiky, that is also unacceptable. We ask students to groom their ear properly and keep it professional, right? And we move on. If we look to our right, we'll see some female with, bright neon colors such as blue. The one above has a little bit of purple as well as burgundy looking colors in it, as well as carving. Again, these hairstyles are not accepted in these colors. The carvings is not accepted in females' eyebrow or the ear, just the same. If you will be wearing an hairstyle that is long, it should not obscure the insignia or the uniform accessories, and it should not fall on the shoulder, obscuring the epaulets. All your accessories should be easily identified by any member of staff, and we ask students, if you are wearing a long hair, whether braids or whatever the case may be, put it in a bun, or you can put it in one, have it fall to the back, but don't allow it to obscure the uniform accessories. And as for these pictures that we're seeing, the accepted ones, the student in the CMU uniform, she's all decked out just the same with a conservative hairstyle. Her uniform is together with the necessary accessories, and these are what are accepted. I try to use as much picture as possible for students to get an understanding and the idea of what is right from what is wrong, right? And as we move on, again, if we look at the pictures that we have presently, all students is all decked out in their uniform, and together. So I wanted to have a group picture as well for you to see what the uniform look like and what you should be looking like in your uniform. And as you look at the hairstyle, just the same for both males and female, you would see and understand that this is what is accepted by the university. So we ask students kindly to get familiar with the information that is readily available to them, so they can have a general understanding of what to do and what not to do. And again, just this morning, I got an email regarding headdress for males. I'll address this issue again. Headdress for male is accepted and approved by the university official, whether the dean of discipline or the members of staff at the registry department. We ask that students, because let me stray a little bit. Many students tend to come to the university, and for some reason they just want to grow their hair because it's an in thing or it's a style that they're trying to do. We ask that students, if you are not of a particular religion, if you don't have any medical issues, that is presented and approved written form with an address and contact information for us to do and follow up. Please don't get any letter from any unauthorized, whether denomination or whatever the case may be. It is unacceptable, and you will also be in breach of the university rule. As we look at the picture, the young man to the right is all decked out in his proper uniform. As for the one to the left, we see jewelry and we see undergarment being shown. We ask students not to allow their undergarment to be shown, and do not wear colored undergarment for it to be showing through the uniform shirt itself. It's not a fashion show that we're doing, and we ask students kindly not to do this. And we move on. This is our contact information, the discipline at cmu.edu.jm, and you can reach me directly to at G Malcolm, and the Malcolm is MALCOLM at cmu.edu.jm. This is our contact information and our extension as well. So you can reach out to us, send us a SMS, a WhatsApp message, and we will respond. And just to note before I go, the student handbook is readily available for you, and please familiarize yourself with the necessary information. We have minor, major, and gross misconduct. Breaches of the dress code is minor misconducts, and 3 consecutive breaches of the dress code. 3 consecutive breaches of the dress code is automatically rolls over to a major misconduct where student will be asked or warrant to a discipline meeting where you can get a suspension. And please be advised that we give suspension up to 1 year. This is not to scare you, this is not to discourage you, but we have the information readily available for you. So in that, we ask students to get familiar and not to breach the university rules, because you're the first point of contact on the outside of the university. And in that, we ask you kindly. The discipline team is here to assist, and we try to instill discipline and social grace that will inspire a change at the end of your tenure at the university. So thank you, and just pose your questions and we'll respond to them accordingly. And as I made mention, the infographics, you will receive the infographics with your package when after registration. All right, thank you again. It's your time, Archie.
All right, thank you, Mr. Malcolm. No, I see a couple of questions in the chat, and I know at the same time that there are people who are sending me direct messages with some other questions. So what I'm going to do is that I'm making note of them, and we're taking note of all of them. And when we finish the second presentation, we're going to be addressing some of these questions. I think part of the thing to reinforce as well is the paramilitary nature of the CMU, meaning that what you're trying to do is to ensure that you are fulfilling the standards that you will have to fulfill in the working world. So a lot of these standards are standards that you will have to fulfill if you need to if you need to go on a ship, for instance, and if you need to work in certain industries. So the CMU is really just getting you accustomed to those standards ahead of time. Ms. Walker, over to you.
Thank you, Archie. Good morning, everyone. Just bear with me. I'm trying to open my screen to share. Is everyone seeing my screen?
Yes, we are.
Yes, miss.
Yes. Good morning. Good morning to you. My name is Keisha Walker, Deputy Registrar for the Caribbean Maritime University. Allow me to offer greetings on behalf of the officers of the university, the staff, students, and welcome you to the Caribbean Maritime University. Thank you for choosing the CMU as your institution of choice for tertiary education, and congratulations on being accepted to the university. Today, I'll be discussing the registration process for academic year 2021. Some keynotes. Registration will commence tomorrow, July 13, 2021, and the registration process will be ongoing. Because of COVID, we are unable to accept students in droves, so we have to do it in batches. So students would have been given an invitation and a date in which to visit the campus. So those persons who are unable to meet their date are asked to contact the admissions officers. The names and numbers were indicated in the letter. And we ask that you reschedule your appointment based on extenuating circumstances. We will not be able to reschedule for all cases. We understand there are persons who are doing exams at this time. So where there are clashes, we are willing to change your date. Registration will be held from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. I do ask that persons don't wait until the afternoon to visit, because we will have a crowd, and the aim is to facilitate everyone within that 8-hour period. Health protocols. We expect that everyone should be in their masks. You will see the picture on the screen. There is a right way and a wrong way to wear your mask. We ask that you wear your mask correctly, and we will also have social distancing while on the campus. When you visit, your temperature will be checked at the main gate, and we will have sanitization throughout the entire registration process. Now, the registration on campus is tailored towards those students who will be based at the main campus. So students who have already received their full acceptance and will be based at the Palisados campus will be coming in for registration during this time. There are students who are going to be based at our Western campuses and at our franchise campuses. Those registrations will be done at a later date. Now, those students who have been provisionally accepted, those persons who will be doing the marine programs, as well as those students who are awaiting their CSEC results, your registration will be scheduled at a later date, and you also will receive invitation letters to come in at that time. Now, these are the required documentations for registration. At the point of application, you would have inserted documents to support your application to the university. The process now is for us to view those original documents against what you would have submitted. You understand? Can I have a minute, please? Sorry, Archie.
All right, so this is Zoom, and it happens. I don't know if any of you have seen people walk out of meetings or the things on the internet. But we're having a little bit of challenge just in a moment right there. And Ms. Walker is now back.
Forgive me, the battery on my laptop was going low, so I had to plug it in. My apologies. So as I was indicating, the aim of the registration is to view your original documents that you would have sent in when you applied to the university. So we will be looking at your birth certificate, passport size photographs. Most of you would not have uploaded passport size photograph, but maybe a photograph that was on hand at the time. We will need one passport size photograph when you visit the university, and it must be signed by a justice of the peace or a notary public. We will be looking at your educational qualifications, your 2 written reference. Now, references are to be on letterhead or stamped. So if you're getting a reference from your school, an organization, a church, once it's on the proper letterhead, it's acceptable. It does not have to be stamped. But if it is not on a letterhead, it needs to be stamped. The TRN number for Jamaican students, portfolio for those students who would have been accepted for mature entry, passport for marine and international students, your medical, police record for marine students, as well as your commitment fee. Now, those persons who have not yet paid their commitment fee, you can do so on the date of registration at the Treasury. Now, there are 8 steps to the registration process. So when you get to the university and all those documents that were mentioned before, once it's applicable to you, you need to have them on hand with you. You will not be allowed to progress unless you have all your documents. So please ensure that you have them with you on your appointment date. The first step, you will meet someone at our information desk. They will verify that you have all your documents. Those persons without the documents will be sent back and your appointment will be rescheduled. Now, there is a one-stop shop for registration. There's one space that everything will happen. That will be our Festa Auditorium. The first persons that you will be met by will be our records team, who will do those necessary checks to ensure that your originals match what you submitted. If not, we will make the necessary copies for your student file. Your file will be created and then you will be moved to step 2, where the information will be verified with members of our admissions team. At this stage, information that was presented on your application, all of that will be discussed with you and between you and that admissions personnel. And then once everything is in place, you will be assigned your CMU email address. Now, you would have already been given your CMU ID in your acceptance letter. Now, the ID is to be used for every transaction that you will make with the university. From step 2, you will move to step 3. This is where you will be placed in front of a computer and you will verify everything that is on record for you and confirm that the information is correct. At this point, you'll be placed in a group, placed in a stream, and this is information that can be printed out and given to you, right? Now, your confirmation of the information presented will signal the invoicing of your account. So the Treasury will apply an invoice to your account. Step 4 is where you will speak to a financial representative. So all the different stakeholders will be in that space. For the financial representative, you can speak to them about SLB for those persons who are going through the Students' Loan Bureau. If you are on scholarship, you can talk to them about that, because in order for you to register, there are persons who may be getting funding from organizations. We will need documentary proof of said sponsorship. So we're going to need that in writing. Plus, you may want to discuss the payment plan that the university offers if you are self-sponsoring, if you're self-sponsored. Step 5, this is where you will take your student ID photo. Now, Mr. Malcolm would have told you the do's and the don'ts. At the point of registration, you do not need to be in uniform, but we do ask that you be appropriately dressed and appropriately groomed, because you will be taking your photograph at that time. All right, so the bright colors in the hair, the very high haircuts, all of that will have to be a no-no on that day. So you need to ensure that you're properly groomed in order to take your ID, because your ID will be with you for 4 years. Step 6, you will meet representatives from the Student Affairs Department who can tell you about all the different co-curricular activities that you can do while you're studying at the CMU. So those persons who are interested in joining a club, taking a sport, this would be the agent that you would speak to about that. Step 7 will introduce you to someone from the library so that you can apply to become a member of the library, because you're studying after all, you're going to need access to our databases as well as our books. And step 8, and this is the most important step, is payment of tuition fees. Now, please note that if you have not paid your tuition fee at the time of registration, you still have time. Classes begin in October. So we do expect that persons would have made payment in full or in part by that time. It's not necessary for you to have made payment in July when registration begins, but we do expect that you would have paid your fees before you start classes. Now, the list of fees for your programs can be found at the website noted on the presentation. Please note that we're going to be sending a copy of this registration to everyone via email at the close of this webinar. Now, for those persons who may be wondering how they're going to be funding their tuition, there are still scholarships available. These are external scholarships to the university, 2 of which are managed by the university. Managed in the sense that we are responsible for shortlisting candidates, before these shortlists are sent to the donor for them to make their choice, as well as to interview candidates. The Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Commission has a grant. Their grant expires, the deadline is the 16th of this month. You can visit their website and apply. The New Fortress Energy and the Caribbean Shipping Association scholarships, those applications need to be tendered to the university. So we will accept the applications for those two scholarships. The New Fortress Energy scholarships closes on the 21st of July, while the Monica Silvera scholarship closed on the 30th of July. Now, the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information has 3 financial assistance that they're offering this year. One for persons who do maths and science, a grant with JAMVAT, as well as a tuition assistance that is valued at $1 short of $300,000. The deadline was slated for June 30th, but they have since extended it to July 23rd. So please take the opportunity of applying. The American Caribbean Maritime Foundation, their scholarship ends on July 30th, and we ask that you visit their website to apply. Scholarship information was sent out via email to all students of the university. However, if you have not received a copy, you can indicate same in the chat. We have persons from the registry on hand who will take your email address and we will send this information to you. Please don't miss out. Even if you are self-sponsored, it can't help. It can't hurt to get that additional money to help your parents out. Now we have gotten to the end of our presentation, short but sweet. We are in the office of the University Registry. Our contact numbers are there for persons who wish to reach out to us. You can apply at cmu.edu.jm or registry at cmu.edu.jm, and our website is also there. We have admissions personnel in the chat who will also give you their direct numbers for you to get in touch with them, just in case you have any queries. Archie, over to you.
All right. So I want to thank my colleagues. I want to thank Mr. George Malcolm. I want to thank my colleagues, Ms. Walker, as well as the other members of the registry team for coming out this morning and giving you the information that's required. Remember, the members of the registry team have provided their WhatsApp numbers so that you can contact them, and have also provided email contact. I'd suggest using up the WhatsApp numbers, making some phone calls and following up. Thank all of you for turning out. This is the second edition of the CMU Getting Ready Series, and we're going to be hosting another edition soon. And as soon as we have those details, we'll send them out to you in your email. So look out for that information in your emails. Look out for that information on our Facebook page, as well as our Instagram page as well. Thank you for showing up this morning. Thank you for applying to the CMU and for wanting to be a part of this university. We're happy to have you. We're glad that you're on board and that you came out this morning to share and find out and ask questions. And have a great morning, everyone.